Welcome to this edition of News Today, a series in which we discuss and briefly analyze the important news of the day. Let's have a look at today's main headlines. The Telecommunications Bill 2023 was recently introduced in Lok Sabha. The Public Account Committee report on agriculture crop insurance schemes was released. The Ministry of Earth Sciences launches India's first winter scientific expedition to Arctic. The Asian Development Bank approved $200 million loan to India to improve waste management and sanitation. 2,664.05 million litres per day of STP capacity has been established under the National Mission for Clean Ganga. As per the World Bank's Migration and Development Brief, India leads global remittance charts with $125 billion in the year 2023. Starting with today's first news, the Telecommunications Bill 2023 was recently introduced in Lok Sabha. The bill seeks to regulate activities related to telecommunication and provide a new legal framework in the telecom sector. It repeals the Indian Telegraph Act of 1885, the Indian Wireless Telegraphy Act of 1933, and the Telegraph Wires Unlawful Possession Act of 1950. It also amends Telecom Regulatory Authority of India Act of 1997. Now let's take a look at some important provisions of the bill. As per the bill, telecommunication service now means any service for telecommunication. Direct reference to over-the-top communication services as mentioned in the 2022 draft bill has been removed. The bill allows the government to take over telecom services in the interest of national security and in case of emergencies. The bill also specifies that spectrum will be assigned by auction except for specified uses, where it will be allocated on an administrative basis. Such specified uses may include purposes such as national security and defense, disaster management, and weather forecasting. The bill also renames the Universal Service Obligation Fund, which was established under the 1885 Act, as Digital Bharat Nidhi. Further, it provides an online mechanism for registration and redressal of grievances. Moreover, the bill amends the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India Act to allow individuals with at least 30 years of professional experience to serve as chairperson and at least 25 years of professional experience to serve as members. Moving on, the Public Account Committee report on agriculture crop insurance schemes was released. The Public Account Committee is one of the three financial parliamentary committees, the other two being the Estimates Committee and the Committee on Public Undertakings. It is comprised of 22 members, of which 15 members are elected by the Lok Sabha Speaker and 7 members are elected by the Rajya Sabha Chairman. These members have a term of 1 year. The chairperson of the committee is appointed by the Lok Sabha Speaker. The committee was first set up in the year 1921 in the wake of the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. Coming back to the news, the report focuses on various crop insurance schemes like Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana and restructured weather-based crop insurance scheme. The report is based on the CAG report of 2017 relating to the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare. So let's take a look at the key findings of the report. The report observed a delay in the release of funds by state governments towards share in premium subsidy. The report also highlights the low coverage of farmers under the scheme compared to the population of farmers as per the 2011 census. Further, coverage of non-loany farmers was reported to be negligible. Delays in the issue of notification by state governments to notify crop, area, and insurance companies were also reported. Further, the report states that the settlement of claims was delayed due to reasons like delayed transmission of yield data and NEFT-related issues. To overcome these issues, the report has also presented a number of recommendations. The report stresses that necessary mechanisms have to be established for the timely release of funds by state governments. The database of Kisan cards and soil health cards can be integrated to ease the delivery mechanism. Also, the monitoring mechanism can be strengthened to ensure accountability. Further, the report has suggested that best practices of crop cutting experiments should be emulated across the country to have accurate data on crop yield. Moving on, the Ministry of Earth Sciences launched India's first winter scientific expedition to Arctic. Indian scientific expeditions to Earth's poles, the Arctic and the Antarctic, are facilitated under the Polar Science and Cryosphere Research or PACER scheme through the National Center for Polar and Ocean Research, which lies under the Ministry of Earth Sciences. Since the year 2008, India has operated a research base in the Arctic named Himadri in Svalbard, Norway. Himadri has been mostly hosting scientists during the summer. Now the question is, what is the significance of the winter expedition? This expedition will allow researchers to conduct unique scientific observations during polar nights. During the polar nights, there is no sunlight for nearly 24 hours and sub-zero temperatures exist as low as -15 degrees Celsius. The winter expedition will also help in expanding the understanding of the Arctic region, especially related to climate change, space weather, and ecosystem adaptations. Space weather affects weather and climate in the tropics, including monsoons. Also, the expedition will make India among select nations with extended in-time operations in the Arctic. Priority research areas for the expedition include atmospheric and space sciences, environmental chemistry, terrestrial ecosystems, and astrophysics. However, winter expeditions to the Arctic can be very challenging. Unlike Antarctica, which is governed by the Antarctic Treaty, the Arctic region belongs to various national jurisdictions. Further, the region has limited access, a harsh climate, and several months of darkness. Now, before moving on, let's take a look at some other initiatives of India with respect to the Arctic region. In the year 2022, India released its Arctic policy titled India and the Arctic, Building a Partnership for Sustainable Development. In the year 2014, India deployed a multi-sensor mode observatory called IND-ARC in the Kongsfjorden Fjord of the Arctic. Since 2013, India has enjoyed the status of observer in the Arctic Council. Additionally, India is a signatory to the Svalbard Treaty of 1920.
Moving on to the next news, the Asian Development Bank approved $200 million loan to India to improve waste management and sanitation. The Asian Development Bank or ADB's initiative is designed to enhance municipal solid waste management, particularly under the Swachh Bharat Mission Urban 2.0, which commits all cities in India to be garbage-free by 2026. This initiative, spanning 100 cities across 8 states, emphasizes climate resilience and social inclusivity. For a closer look, let's have a look at the key initiatives by Asian Development Bank. It has introduced points to upgrade and established waste management facilities like biomethanation plants and to upgrade and build urban local bodies' capacity on waste management and sanitation. There are also training and awareness campaigns to improve waste segregation and waste collection to help conduct annual reviews and progress updates of city-wide solid waste action plans. Further, talking about municipal solid waste in India, which comprises solid or semi-solid waste from commercial and residential areas, excluding industrial hazardous waste. Shockingly, in the fiscal year 2020-21, India generated 1.6 lakh tons per day of solid waste. While 95.4% was collected, only 50% was treated as per the CPCB report. The responsibility of managing municipal solid waste falls on urban local bodies, but they face numerous challenges. In management of municipal solid waste, there are also some issues needed to be tackled. Initially, urbanization didn't prioritize municipal solid waste management. There was also poor compliance of source segregation and insufficient funds for urban local bodies. Now let's talk about the key initiatives for solid waste management. The Solid Waste Management Rules 2016 provide for detailed criteria for setting up solid waste processing and treatment facility. The Waste to Wealth mission is one of the initiatives to generate energy, recycle materials, and extract resources of value from waste. Swachh Bharat Mission Urban 2.0 calls for 100% source segregation and door-to-door collection. Moving to the next news. 2,664.05 million litres per day of sewage treatment plant capacity has been established under the National Mission for Clean Ganga. The National Mission for Clean Ganga targets to sanction a cumulative sewage treatment plant capacity of 7,000 million litres per day by December 2026. National Mission for Clean Ganga, which is registered as a society, is the implementing agency of the Namami Gange Yojana. However, currently the achieved capacity is less than 40%, leading to the discharge of untreated sewage into water bodies. Talking about sewage, which consists mixture of wastewater from homes, industries, hospitals, offices and other sources, along with rainwater carrying pollutants from streets, poses a significant threat. Shockingly, over 60% of urban India's sewage remains untreated, finding its way into rivers, perpetuating water pollution. The challenges faced in this mission are multifaceted. The high capital expenditure and operational costs associated with sewage treatment plants make them a costly affair. Moreover, erratic power supplies, difficulties in acquiring land, outdated infrastructure, and the inability of urban local bodies to attract private bodies add to the complexities. To tackle these challenges, several key initiatives have been launched. The Jal Jeevan Mission calls for 100% sewerage and septage treatment in 500 Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation or Amrut cities, while the Central Sector Scheme of Namami Gange focuses on the Ganga and its tributaries. Additionally, the centrally sponsored scheme of the National River Conservation Plan addresses rivers other than the Ganga. These initiatives are bolstered by the Environment Protection Act of 1986 and the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1974. Moving on, as per the World Bank's Migration and Development Brief, India leads global remittance charts with $125 billion in the year 2023. According to the latest World Bank's Migration and Development Brief, India has emerged as the leader with a staggering $125 billion in remittances in the year 2023. What makes this achievement even more significant? Let's dive into the key findings. Remittances have now become the primary source of financial support for low and middle income countries, surpassing the more unpredictable foreign direct investment flows in 2023. The growth in remittances was particularly noteworthy in South Asia, with a 7.2% increase, largely attributed to the continued rise in remittances to India. So what factors contributed to this remarkable growth? Resident labor markets in advanced economies and Gulf Cooperation Council countries played a pivotal role, providing stability and boosting remittances. Notably, remittance flows to India received a substantial boost from the Gulf Cooperation Council, particularly the UAE, which accounts for 18% of India's total remittances. Now let's understand why remittances are crucial for India. Remittances go beyond being a financial lifeline. They play a vital role in enhancing a country's economic standing. They can improve the sovereign rating by incorporating remittances into the debt-to-export ratio. Additionally, they can be used as collateral, lowering international borrowing costs and strengthening a country's debt repayment capability. The counter-cyclic nature of remittances also provides stability during economic fluctuations. Remittances also contribute significantly to public finances by generating seigniorage revenues as remittances are deposited in the banking system. Seigniorage forms part of revenue for a government when the worth of the money is more than the cost of producing it. Now let's take a closer look at India's initiatives to attract remittances. India has implemented several innovative measures to encourage remittances. One such initiative is the Non-Resident Deposit Program, designed to attract foreign currency denominated diaspora savings. Diaspora bond issuances have also been instrumental, raising around $11 billion in 1991, 2000 and 2003. Moreover, the UPI Pay Now cross-border linkage aims to reduce transaction costs, fostering increased remittance flows to India through formal channels.
Now let's have a look at today's personality news. Who is Sakharam Ganesh Deuskar? He was remembered on his birth anniversary. Sakharam Ganesh Deuskar was a revolutionary journalist and a close associate of Sri Aurobindo. He was one of the major architects of the Indian Renaissance and acted as a bridge between Maharashtra's and Bengal's Renaissance. He published a book named Desher Katha in Bengali. This book was based on the exploitation of the Indian economy by colonial British rule. It was also translated into Hindi as Desh Ki Baat. During his lifetime, he exhibited values like courage, commitment to truth, and patriotism. As we conclude today's main news, let's go through some quick updates. Recent research reveals that katabatic winds play a role in cooling Himalayas. Katabatic winds are cool, denser air moving downhill due to gravity. They affect local climate, even reducing humidity in the air and blowing away snow. Recent research indicates that a variety of gut bacteria safeguards the human gut from disease, but this defense diminishes if a single bacterial species is present in gut. Gut bacteria are an important component of the microbiota ecosystem in the human gut. Lathyrusm is an incurable neurological disorder which clinically manifests as paralysis of lower limbs. It is caused by eating large quantities of legume Lathyrus sativus, which contains neurotoxins ODAP. The recipient of the 2023 Falling Walls Prize for Science and Innovation Management is developing gene-drive technology to eradicate malaria. In this technology, genetically modified male mosquitoes who cannot produce female offspring after mating are released into the environment. In response to rising cyber attacks, Center has established a secure email system for 10,000 users across critical ministries and departments. National Informatics Center has designed this system incorporating zero trust authentication, which is a cybersecurity approach intended to address rapidly evolving security risks faced by IT systems. National Highways Authority of India has recently awarded highway projects under Toll Operate Transfer model. Under the model, operational national highways are given to private entities on long-term concession basis against upfront payment. United Nations has designated 2024 as the International Year of Camelids. The group camelids includes alpacas, Bactrian camels, llamas, etc. They are mostly herbivorous and feed primarily but not exclusively on grasses. The potato crop in Punjab has suffered extensive damage due to late blight disease. The late blight disease is a fungal disease that can damage the entire crop. It affects the leaves, stems, and tubers of crops. Before we go, it's time to put your knowledge to the test in today's segment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this edition of News Today. To get the answers to today's quiz and to download the PDF of News Today, make sure to check out the links in the description below.